Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. I'm your host, J.W. Wilson. Coach, it's been a bit. We've been gone for a while, but it's finally here. Season 3 is upon us. It's game week. Welcome back. How have you been?
Good. Yeah, glad to be back at it. It's been a long off season, but a very productive one. A lot of changes in our program and stuff that we're excited about. So, you know, we're fired up to get to play Friday night and get started early, a day early, and, you know, excited to play against the Stanford team, go on the road. You know, all the stuff is there to kind of test us, and that's, I think, what we need. And so we're fired up and ready to go.
Well, the Horned Frog family's missed you, so it's good to be back. But you made some significant moves in the offseason. Can you tell us a little about some of the transfers and how that's affected the team?
Yeah, we got a lot of new faces. Obviously starts with our coaching staff, and Andy Evelos coming over from Boise State as the defensive coordinator. And, you know, Andy's had a lot of success through the years as a coach. He's been somebody that I've admired and admired his teams and the way they played and his defenses. He's got a great pedigree. And as we started to talk a little bit about this job, you know, it was pretty obvious that he was the kind of guy that I wanted and has a very systematic approach in the way he does things and really has a similar background to me just on the defensive side of the ball. And so anyway, we were really fortunate to get him hired, and I think he's brought a new edge to our defense and excited about the scheme that we're running, but also about the way our players have developed and the emphasis on fundamentals and doing things the right way. So I'm excited to watch the group play Friday. I think we'll play very well defensively, and just excited that he's here. And as you said, a lot of new faces as well on that side of the ball, in particular from a transfer standpoint. So should be a fun group to coach and to watch, and looking forward to watching them Friday night.
I had a note to ask you about Coach Avalos and the 4-2-5 coming back, and that seems to be his forte. That's exciting to hear. Leadership on the team. How could you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's always interesting. You know, football teams are really always as good as their leadership allows them to be, and I think that's, you know, you go back and look at the 22 team, and I think that was one of the things that we had. We had a lot of experienced guys that have been through a lot of battles, had an edge to them, and were very, very invested in our program. And I think this year's football team reminds me of that. We have a lot of experienced guys that have played a lot of football. Some of them at TCU, but some of them at other places when we're talking about transfers. And the guys, they have a confidence about them. They have a determination about them. You know, I think that they, you know, understand what it takes to be successful. And just like the leadership of this group, I think this team, if you ask me to describe it in one word, I'd say mature. And I think that typically is a good thing.
Nice. I know you get asked this question a lot, Coach, but is it possible to compare, and you kind of did it there a little bit, but last year's team to this year's team, is it a difference in leadership and some of the team principles?
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But I think for us, you know, to the 23 team, you know, as coaches, I'm always responsible for that, you know, to develop that leadership and to bring those guys along. It's not something that just happens. And if you don't have it naturally, then you have to make sure it occurs. And did a poor job doing that last year. Spent a lot of time in the off season, you know, nourishing that part of our team and doing everything that we could do to encourage that growth, especially in that area, and love the results so far. You know, we're just getting started. It's a long season. We got 12 very difficult ball games ahead of us, and we'll see how that we respond to adversity when it hits. But I love the makeup of this team, and so far, and you know, we'll see how it goes.
Any big surprises from fall camp?
I don't think so. I think just the competition is what's been inspiring to me. I think that, you know, the good thing about this team is if you miss a day or two of practice, someone's going to have your spot. And I think that's what makes this group way different than in the past is, you know, guys were kind of assured of starting jobs and didn't really necessarily get pushed by some other guys. Well, now we've got enough depth on this football team and enough talent that, you know, you miss a day or two of practice, someone's going to have your job, and it's going to be hard to get it back because they're going to go in and perform at a high level. So love that competitive aspect of the group. Love the fact that it was back and forth during fall camp. The offense would have a good day, the defense would have a good day, and it even went within practice to practice. I mean, we might have a good part offensively early in practice, and we might have a good part defensively in practice. And so you like to see that competition and both sides of the ball have success, and that usually means you have a good team. So it was fun to see.
Fantastic. I had an opportunity to see a couple practices during the fall camp. Obviously, a lot of people are watching Josh Hoover. Any thoughts on Josh Hoover and how he's progressed?
Yeah. I think you know, Josh is doing what great quarterbacks do. You know, he's making good decisions with the ball. I think he believes in his supporting cast. I think he understands that he doesn't have to go out there and play like Brett Favre and play reckless football. I think he understands, look, if I take care of the ball and make good decisions and get the ball to these guys that can make plays, then that's what's going to allow us to move the football and move it consistently. And if we can limit our turnovers and our negative plays, then I think this offense has a chance to be very, very good. Last year a big part of the issues we had were self-inflicted issues, and I think we've grown past having those. But as I said, we'll get a great test on Friday.
Great to hear. And also there's a new technology program implemented in college football. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah. So you've got helmet communication now, which they've had in the NFL for forever, and I'm not sure why it took 15 years for us to get the technology that they've had in the NFL, but whatever. But we've got it now, and then we've also got the pads on the sideline to allow us to go back and review previous series with our players, which again I think it all makes sense. I mean, the technology's there, why not use it to improve the game? And I think this is going to help in a lot of different ways. I mean, I think it's going to help with some of the silly signal stealing and all the stuff that's kind of put a black eye on college football, and hopefully it'll help with that and help speed up the game a little bit and help expedite some things and kind of remove some of that silliness.
Fantastic. Well, we'll be right back with State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes.
At Higginbotham, we put people first. So we simply start by listening to you. Whether you're searching for customized insurance, HR, or financial solutions to protect your home, car, health, business, or employees, our specialists are here to serve you, the people you care about, and your success. Higginbotham. Insurance, HR, and financial services. Inspired by you.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. Coach, I'd like to introduce a new face to Frogs today. It's our new reporter, Mallory Mahoney. Mallory, Coach, comes from Hollywood. She starred in a series called Bunked on the Disney Channel for many, many years, amongst several movies. Mallory has a student question of the week this week. Go ahead, Mallory.
Thanks, JW, and hi there, Coach Dykes. I am so happy to be a part of the Frogs Today team, and I'm especially excited to be a part of Season 3 of State of the Frogs. And welcome, everyone. Football season is finally here, and we are out on the campus at TCU, and I'm here with Brooke and Camille, and they have our student question of the week.
Hey, Coach Dykes, I know you have 2 daughters and a son, I believe.
Because Mallory is here for Frogs Today and starred in 7 seasons of Bunked.
How much Disney did your kids watch growing up?
So, Coach, did you watch a lot of Disney Channel in the last decade or so?
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story. So I bought a pirated box, 10 box of every single Disney movie ever made off the internet way back when. And so we have watched every known Disney movie ever made. I've seen them all. I've seen them all in many different languages. Because some of them had subtitles that they weren't in English, but we stuck them on there when we had road trips and the kids watched them. And so we grew up on Disney movies and the Disney Channel and everything associated with Disney. And we've been loyal Disney people for a long time. Many trips to Disney World, a couple to Disneyland. And so I would classify us as diehard Disney folks.
Beautiful. And now we're complicit in this victimless crime that you committed, but I think we'll let bygones be bygones.
Yeah, I'm sure Disney's not going to like hearing that. And it was a heck of an investment. I think it was like 300 movies for like $50. So turned out pretty good for us.
Well played, Coach. We'll be right back with State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes.
Simply the best barbecue in Fort Worth. Dine-in, catering, or drive-through. 2900 Montgomery, just off I-30. Remember, the best barbecue in Fort Worth is at Railhead Smokehouse.
Welcome to the Squire Shop.
We are locally owned and operated since 1994.
We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service.
We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that.
We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. Coach, it's game week. It's on to business. 9:30 local time, kickoff, Palos Altos, California, the Cardinal of Stanford. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Stanford is a typical Stanford team. It's going to be a physical football team, a team that's well coached. Troy Taylor's going into his second year. They'll make a huge jump from year one to year two. Very talented team. Again, you look at the recruiting rankings. These are a lot of elite level players that got recruited by pretty much everybody across the country. So really talented team, a team that's going to play a disciplined brand of football. They've got really good coaches. The defensive coordinator's got a pretty significant NFL background. I'm sure they'll make a big jump from year one to year two in terms of additional scheme and being able to build on the base that they established last year. So it'll be a lot different than probably what we've seen on film. Got a great playmaker at wide receiver, kid that basically took over that Colorado game in the second half and willed them to a comeback against Colorado last year. A linebacker on defense that's big and physical and make a lot of plays, and some quarterbacks that really know how to handle the offense and run it. So it's going to be a good football team, a much improved team, and again, a Stanford team that's built on, lining up and playing a physical brand of football.
Any history with Troy Taylor?
Yeah, I know Troy well. He was at Folsom High School, and we recruited one of his quarterbacks when I was there, and he played quarterback at Cal, so he was a guy that I got to know pretty well when I was out in the Bay Area, and I've had a lot of respect for him, and he did a tremendous job at Sacramento State and getting that program going, and he'll do the same thing at Cal.
Your days at Cal, you probably played in Palos Altos, so tough place to play? Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a different setting. It really is, especially on a Friday night. It'll be a little bit different, but it's a cool stadium. They've done a good job there. They have a great tradition. I mean, you look at the teams they've had over the last 2 decades. I mean, it's been a very, very, very good football program for a long time. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh came in there and did some great things with it, and then David Shaw took over and never missed a beat. So, they've won there for a long time. They know how to win. They expect to win, and it'll be a big challenge for us. And coming from this hellacious hot box, playing out there, and probably what seems to be some really nice weather. How does that affect the game, do you think, or the players? Yeah. Palo Alto will be nice and cool. It'll be probably about 75 degrees at kickoff, and get down to probably the high 50s when it's done. And so, I think it'll be a nice change of pace for our players for sure from a weather standpoint. You're getting a good amount of TCU fans headed that way. Have you heard anything about crowd attendance? Yeah. It seems like people I've talked to. I know a lot of people personally that are going, and it's a great trip. You get to go to the Bay Area, do the wine country thing if you want to. Maybe spend the weekend there after watching our game, and hopefully our fans will be happy with our performance. We've had the privilege of seeing a couple players coming out of the locker room on the way up here, and everybody has a little chip on their shoulder. We can tell it. You can feel it. It's really palpable, but the players seem really positive about that. Have you noticed that around the locker room? Our guys have our guys have had to deal with the losing season now for 8 months, and none of us have particularly enjoyed it. And so we're ready to turn the page, and the quickest way to do that is to go out and play well Friday. And I don't know if you have time while you're out there, but the TCU women's golf team is out there playing at Pebble Beach in the Carmel Cup, I've heard. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to have a chance to get over there, but that's a beautiful place to go visit. Excellent. And I'm always looking for an excuse to get over to Pebble Beach. And before we go, some news dropped this morning. You and your wife, Kate, made a special gift to TCU I'd like to talk to you about real quickly, but it honors Jamal Powell, a teammate of mine, and then the wife of TCU Horned Frog legend Hunter Ennis, being Shirley Ennis. Jamal and Shirley were two people that meant a lot to us personally. Obviously, Jamal was my offensive line coach when I was at SMU, and just loved Jamal and his family. Jamal loved TCU probably as much as anybody I've ever met in my entire life. As we started talking about the possibility of giving a gift, he seemed like the natural person to honor, and we felt like that she was the perfect person to honor, and so we're just excited to give back. I mean, look, we love TCU, we love being here. It's a special place, and we understand that, and we're just happy to be a part of it. Coach, it's an amazing thing, so thank you very much for the gift and putting your money where your mouth is, man. It's an incredible thing you did, so thank you and Kate. Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, here we go, Coach. Season 2024 is upon us. Good luck in Palos Altos, and we'll see you next time. Yeah, looking forward to it, and like I said, excited to go out there and play well Friday night. Well, we're looking forward to. That's been State of the Frog with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. Thanks for joining us.
Roxo Media House.